Black children don't get to be innocent. America has shown us time and time again that they will put a child's blackness before anything when deciding whether or not that child gets to live or die. We've seen that in the stories of Emmett Till, George Stinney, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown. On March 16, 1991, in Los Angeles, California, 15-year-old Latasha Harlins walks into a convenience store, and from the moment she walks in, she's racially profiled. The store owner accuses Latasha of stealing a $1.79 bottle of orange juice. Latasha says, "No, she's not. I'm going to pay for it." The store owner then grabs Latasha, grabs her backpack, and when Latasha tries to walk away, the store owner shoots her in the back of the head, killing her instantly. $1.79 is all Latasha's life was worth. And even worse, the store owner gets 5 years probation. No jail time. That sounds real familiar to the story of Cyrus Carmack Belton, a 14-year-old black boy who was accused by a gas station owner in Columbia, South Carolina, of stealing a water bottle. Cyrus didn't steal the water bottle. He ran away, and the gas station owner still shot him in the back. And that murderer was just found not guilty. When you're a black child in America, you better grow up quick, because you don't get to be innocent.
As a child, walking with a friend's little sister, I was chased down the block by a grown man who screamed, "Don't come around here with white girls, nigger," while Mr. Miller, another white man and the father of two of my friends, held him back and apologized to me. Mr. and Mrs. Lee, a black couple, were sitting across the courtyard on their stoop, seething. When I learned from my Chinese-American best friend the Cantonese word for white devil, bukwai, I excitedly told a white buddy, as if to say, "See, they have names for you too," to which he rattled off an incredible litany of racial epithets for Asian Americans, though probably only about half as many as he had for black people. Where I grew up, the white kids, some of whom were my close friends, told nigger jokes to my face or within earshot. And even if they didn't make jokes, it might be that you couldn't go into their houses because you were black. Or your best friend's uncle might tell you to your face that black people are inherently lazy. Not to mention that nearly every criminal on the news, rapist, murderer, burglar, drug dealer, was black. Even if I wasn't consciously aware of it, I got the message. I remember being 13 and walking into a clothes store at the mall with a white pal. As we perused the racks, it didn't take long for me to realize the security guard was following me and was oblivious to my friend. So I gradually made my way to the back of the store while I glimpsed my pal up front stuffing a few $100s worth of merchandise into his backpack. If I was going to be profiled, I thought, at least my blonde-haired buddy could get some new clothes out of the deal. I think we could have made a racket out of this, but we didn't. At Lafayette College, I played football on a scholarship, like most of the working-class kids on campus. One night, I was having a conversation with two of my white teammates as we watched the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football in their dorm room. Deion Sanders was on the sidelines, not dressed for the game due to an injury. He wore a jogging suit with a big gold chain and a crucifix that swayed beneath the lights. My teammates took the occasion to explain to me the difference between a black person and a nigger. They categorized Sanders as the latter. Mostly, it seemed, because of his clothes and his swagger. A black person, in their minds, was someone like the Detroit Lions' Barry Sanders, whose humble attitude on the field appealed to them. Beginning the next morning, I could swallow nothing for 4 days except water, and only a few sips if I bent over and twisted my head at a bizarre angle, looking back almost over my shoulder. I lost about 20 pounds. No small concern for a college tight end. The doctor diagnosed esophageal spasms and prescribed a muscle relaxant. I think the spasms were my body's revolt. You must not swallow this. But how could I not? A friend of mine here at Indiana University, the late black writer and creative writing professor Don Belton, came to my house one day looking especially weary. Don told me he had been at the bookstore where a young white woman had asked if he needed any help, and he'd snapped, "Do I look like I need help?" I'm sure this behavior didn't make sense to the poor woman trying to assist him. Don thought he was being perceived as a criminal. "Can I help you?" twisted in his ear into, "Are you stealing something?" I tried to tell him that I'd seen the clerks at that store ask everyone who walked in the same question. Don held his head in his hands. "I'm just so tired," he said. I have my own catalog of similarly exhausting experiences. The janitor in my building on campus shouting, "How'd you get in here?" as I walked to my office one night until I shook my key at him. The older white woman at the antique shop glaring at my pockets, one of which had a book in it, and my own half-hearted desire to allay her anxiety. "No, no, dear lady, I just need a chair. I just want a chair." As a result of this, I've developed the habit of buying something in stores whether I want to or not, to put such possibly suspicious white people at ease. I'm behaving in response to what I imagine other people are thinking. I've had to struggle not to absorb those stares and questions and traffic stops and newscasts and TV shows and movies and what they imply. I've been afraid walking through the alarm gate at the store that maybe something's fallen into my pockets or that I've unconsciously stuffed something in them. I felt panic that the light-skinned black man who mugged our elderly former neighbors was actually me. And I worried that my parents, with whom I watched the newscast, suspected the same. And nearly every time I've been pulled over, I've prayed there were no drugs in my car, despite the fact that I don't use drugs. I don't even smoke pot. That's to say, the story I have all my life heard about black people, criminal, 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 I have started to suspect of myself.